Lawyers and parties, you may be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, lawyers, I should be saying, the jury has found Mrs. Sneiderman guilty on certain charges. Is the state ready to go forward with sentencing, or you want to set it down for a date and time certain?
You're all right. I do not need a date and time certain. I would ask just for a few moments, given the nature of the verdict. I want to look at things like merger and things of that nature to make sure I was making an appropriate sentence, but only a few minutes just to confer with co-counsels, and I'll be ready. All right.
The defense, are you in a position to go forward with sentencing today, or you need to set it down for a date and time certain?
We would ask to set down for a date in the future other than today, Your Honor. May we approach, please?
Sure. Come on up, lawyers.
So the lawyers are now going up to the bench. I'm Jeff Hullinger along with Bill Thomas, former federal prosecutor and also a defense attorney is with us. Let's go to Jay Watson right now, who has more. She is outside the courtroom. Jay? Okay, Jay, thank you. Bill Thomas, I want to ask you very quickly. There appears to be inconsistent verdicts on many of the perjury counts. What's one to deduce from that?
I don't know that they're inconsistent. I think they've weighed the facts, and each count is going to look at a specific set of facts. And I think with those facts, they found that the state had met its burden. And I think it's important to remember that with a perjury count, you got to really show two things. One, that the statement that was not true, but there's also a materiality element that the state must prove. And you've got to really satisfy both of those before you can convict.
The foreperson was very, very serious and very steadfast and stern in her pronouncement of judgment as well.
Again, I just think it's evidence that they've paid very close attention to the facts, to the evidence, and returned a verdict that they think is appropriate in this case.
How about sentencing in this case? Now, when will A, this take place, and B, are we talking about mandatory amounts of time for any of these charges?
No mandatory amounts of time. It's hard to say when sentencing is going to take place. We'll know in a few minutes. That's obviously up to the discretion of the judge. I would suspect he's going to honor the defense's request and put it off for a period of time so they can make what they feel is an appropriate presentation.
We are taking a look at the father of Andrea Sneiderman there with the shaved head in the middle. The brother of Bonnie Greenberg from Philadelphia is there in the glasses. And Mrs. Greenberg, you can see to the right of her husband. And now we're taking a look at Andrea Sneiderman, who has been found guilty on 9 of 13 counts. What is your take as you initially hear all of this, as you are sitting here? What jumps out at you that has maybe surprised you in all of this?
We're back on the record. Mr. James, you had indicated...
I don't know that there are any real surprises.
Let's go back in. We'll get your comments in a moment.
Giving them some parameters. What's the state's position?
As far as
sentencing time.
As far as sentencing?
Date and time.
Yeah, well, obviously the state would prefer to go forward today. However, after our conference at the bench, if the court's inclined to do it within 24 hours tomorrow around the same time, then we'll be prepared then. I just wanted to put on the record, and I know the court's aware that there were several family members here from the Sneiderman family. At least one of them may want to be heard at sentencing, and obviously anything beyond tomorrow would be a hardship because they have been here throughout the trial.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Clegg.
Your Honor, we would ask you not to impose sentence today. We would ask, I believe we had discussed at the bench, possibility of doing it tomorrow. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning will be fine with the defense.
All right. Andrea Sneiderman, would you stand, please? A jury has found you guilty on various counts, and at this point in time, you're no longer presumed innocent. You have been found guilty of certain charges. You do have a right to appeal any decision that has been rendered by the jury and any sentence that will be imposed by the court. I'm going to set the case down for sentencing at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and you will have 30 days to file your intent to appeal, your notice of intent to appeal within 30 days. The lawyers who are accompanying you today, I'm assuming they will be with you throughout that process. If not, a lawyer will be appointed so you can file your intent of notice to appeal. At this point in time, since you have been found guilty by a jury, you're going to be taken into custody. And you'll be brought back tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to have an official sentencing hearing. At this point in time, Mr. Deputy, take into custody. All right, lawyers, buddies, you may be seated. Let me just turn the verdict over to the clerk and also the original indictment. We're going to be, and I will direct the clerk to be in attendance tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We will have sentencing at that point in time. We're in recess till 9 o'clock. All right.
All right, so there it is. Word from the jury this afternoon that Andrea Sneiderman is guilty on 9 of 13 counts. Robert James, the district attorney of DeKalb County, who made such a spirited closing argument, Tom Clegg and J. Tom Morgan.